Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we have an exciting topic to dive into.
Have you ever felt like you were just constantly one step behind the market? You're buying at the very top only to watch it tumble right after? Well, today we're going to break down a really powerful strategy that's all about helping you stop chasing the market and start anticipating its next move. We are going to learn how to trade with the market's natural rhythm, its very own breath. Look, this right here is probably the single most important mindset shift you can make. So many of us see a stock just shooting straight up and we jump on board thinking it's a rocket ship to the moon. But that's just not how markets actually work. They're organic, they move in waves, they have a rhythm. And think about it. Just like you can't exhale forever without needing to take another breath, it's just not possible, right? A stock can't just surge upwards forever without taking a rest. Understanding this rhythm, that is the key to going from chasing these frantic price moves to calmly and patiently anticipating your next great entry. Let's be real, we have all been there. That fear of missing out. It's powerful. You see that big green candle just ripping higher and you pile in, only to realize you just became the exit for the smart money. Jumping into a trade during one of those fast, aggressive moves up is, without a doubt, one of the most common and costly mistakes you can make in trading. So, to break this cycle, what we need to do is get a handle on the two fundamental phases of any trend. You can think of them as the market's exhale and its inhale. Just being able to spot these two distinct moves is the very first step. I want you to imagine a sprinter for a second. The impulse move, that's the explosive sprint itself, that powerful exhale of energy. And yeah, that's where the big gains happen, but it's a terrible time to start the race. The retracement, on the other hand, is when that sprinter slows down to catch their breath before the next big burst of speed. That's the inhale, and that is our opportunity. So let's be super clear here. The impulse wave is that strong, obvious move that basically screams at you which direction the trend is headed. It's exciting, it gets all the attention, but your job isn't to chase it. Your job is simply to see it, identify it, and then wait. Now, the retracement, the pullback, this is where the real magic happens. This is when the price temporarily dips against that main trend. For most retail traders, this is panic time. They see red and they start selling. But for us, this isn't a sign of failure. It's the market taking a healthy breath. It's the smart money zone. Okay, so we know we should be trying to enter during the inhale, but how do we actually measure that? How do we find the perfect spot to get in? Well, this is where our first incredible tool comes into play, the Fibonacci Retracement. And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If a stock is pulling back, how in the world do you know if it's just a little dip or the beginning of a total collapse? How do you measure the depth of that breath so you can get in right before the next big push? The Fibonacci retracement tool is what helps us take the guesswork out of this whole equation. See, by measuring that previous impulse move, it projects these key support levels where the price is statistically likely to pause, take that breath, and then reverse back into the main trend. Now, these aren't guarantees, but they are very high probability zones. And within all these Fibonacci levels, there's one area that is just absolutely critical. We call it the golden zone. It's the sweet spot between the 50% and the 61.8% retracement levels. The best way to think about it is like this. The stock just had a fantastic run, and now it's basically on sale for a 50 to 60% discount. This is by far the highest probability zone for a strong trend to find support and get going again. At the very heart of this entire concept is the number 0.618. This comes from the golden ratio, which is this mind-blowing mathematical constant that shows up literally everywhere in nature, from seashells to galaxies. And in the markets, it represents a key point of equilibrium, which makes it the most powerful level to watch inside our golden zone. And you know what? Applying it is actually super simple. First, you spot a clear impulse move. Then you just select the tool from your charting platform, click on the absolute bottom of that move, and drag it to the absolute top. That's it. The tool automatically draws all the key levels for you to watch. All right, so finding a great entry, that's only half the battle, right? I mean, how do you know when to actually get out? Once you're in a good trade, how do you know when that next big exhale is about to run out of steam? A huge mistake so many traders make is selling way too early. They often just target the previous high and they leave massive profits on the table. A professional trader, though, doesn't guess. They use a tool to project a logical target that's based on that same natural market rhythm we've been talking about. And for this, we bring in our second tool, the Fibonacci Extension. So, while the retracement tool helped us measure the inhale, the extension tool helps us project the potential length of the next exhale. It lets us set a profit target based on data, not just emotion. And it's pretty cool how this works. Just like the 0.618 was our key level for getting in, the 1.618, or the 161.8% extension level, is the professional's primary target for getting out. This level is mathematically related to that first impulse wave, and it's very often where that next powerful move just runs out of gas. Okay, so here's the really crucial part. It's about seeing how these two tools work together in perfect harmony. They're not just a couple of separate tricks. They are two parts of a single system for mapping out an entire trade, from the moment a stock takes a breath to the moment it finishes its next powerful push. So here it is, the complete blueprint start to finish. Step 1, an impulse move happens. The market exhales. Step 2, the price retraces, inhaling back down into our golden zone. Step 3, we enter our trade as we see price showing strength in that zone. And step 4, we hold on as the market exhales again and we target that 1.618 extension for our exit. It's a full cycle, a repeatable process. In this, right here, this is the ultimate goal. Trading just becomes so much less stressful and way more methodical when you stop fighting the market's natural flow. When you can see a pullback not as a threat, but as a breath, as an opportunity, the entire game just changes. So I'm going to leave you with this one last thought. The next time you're looking at a chart and you just see a sea of red candles after a really strong run-up, just take a pause. Before you panic, before you do anything, just pull out your tool and ask that simple question. Is this the end of the world? Or is this market just taking a healthy breath before its next big move? The answer could change everything for you.
இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா லைக் பண்ணுங்க, ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க, சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க. Thank you for watching.